Hey there, everybody, it's a musical chips challenge video. Everybody, it's a musical chips challenge video. Hey there, everybody. Okay, in all seriousness, this is not gonna work. Alright, hey everybody, it's JB once again. I'm playing through Morton, and I don't know, that song tune kind of sounded familiar, didn't it? I mean, I thought that's the tune for some oldie song, but I'm trying to figure out what it is. I think it's Come On Down to Oh, what was it? Oh, I forgot what song this was or who sang it. It was sung by no, it wasn't the Association. It was a 60s song. Was it the Association? I don't know. Anyway, if anyone knows what the title of this song is, feel free to mention in the comments. Let's see. What do we have here? We have a bunch of invisible walls, or not invisible walls, hidden walls, which are initially invisible, but you can make them appear. And what you haven't seen yet in this level is that there's a teeth monster, which is who Morton is, pretty much, that is in the center of the level. Now, the Chips Challenge Wiki rates this level a full 5 by 5 for difficulty. Honestly, I don't think this is really that hard of a level. It's very easy, actually, because there's actually a glorified spot right here. Let me show you right here. It's a dead end, and this is eventually where you want to trap the teeth, because you want to get into that little area that he's at there in the middle. But getting to him there is actually quite simple, but I'm just going to do this the quick way. This is the way that's pretty hard, but even it's not that hard. You just have to lure him out here, snatch, yeah, and then lure him back. Whoop, come on, lure him back in. There you go. Alright, just put him back here in his little hole. Yeah, there you go. And if that's too hard for you, I'll show you the other way you can get him out. Which will probably naturally come when I go, yeah, here you go. Okay, let me just keep him out there for now. Eventually he's going to come out of there. Let's go down here, and I'll show you what I mean here in a sec. So yeah, this level is not really that difficult. Okay, so one thing I did want to bring up while playing this level is at the very end of the last video, I made this sound with my, I don't know, my tongue, I guess. It was like that sound, and I used to do that like all the time. I think if you watched my 3D Ultra Mini Golf videos, like for the first 9 and the back 9, I did that like all the time. In fact, my parents saw the video and they called me out on that. They're like, "Hey JB, you did that sound all the time," and I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I know." And wait a second. Okay, yeah, that's a dead end. Forgot. So yeah, that place right there is a dead end, just so he won't follow you in here. But anyway, the whole sound thing. Yesterday I was watching Chugga Conroy, who's another one of my favorite LPers here on YouTube, and he's definitely one of the most famous LPers out there. And he mentioned that he made that sound all the time too, and I was like, yes, thank you. I've got that in common with an awesome LPer. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing to have in common with an LPer, but anyway, you catch my drift. Anyway, we trapped Morton in that area, and now that he's turned that corner, he can now go down, and he can't get out unless we go all the way back up there, or we just happen to go in here and just lure him out for whatever reason. So that's a really easy way to solve this level, if you want to know that, if you have trouble with the fast way. So yeah, I don't really know why this is rated 5 for difficulty. It's pretty easy, actually, and the invisible walls, as long as you just take care of them at the very beginning and just get a general idea of where you're going before releasing him, it's not that bad. In fact, I could have just gone over here and taken care of these invisible walls first, but since these are near the exit and I knew that the exit was down here, I decided not to do that. So, Morton defeated, and we can now move on and have some playtime. And we've been having playtime, of course, but this is a level purely dedicated to the art of playtime. And as you can see right there, we just cloned a ball, and we're going to do another one here. And my voice is totally sounding dry right now. So let's see. Let's slide, and we can see all this stuff going on. I really like that. Ah, there we go. Okay. Whew. Timing, good timing. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so if we press the toggle buttons, those balls, or not balls, bugs will be trapped there. And thankfully, that makes the tank, you saw that there's a bug. Let me go back there. There's a bug over here. You can kind of, not there. Over here. There he is. You can kind of see him controlling those one tank button, not those tank buttons. One tank button. So just be mindful of that. Now that that toggle wall is permanently closed, he can do that at a pretty constant rate, which is pretty nice. Alright, let's go back. Whoa, okay. Now, thankfully, the tank up there is at the top. If you didn't push that green button, I think he might be here at the bottom. I haven't quite experimented with that lately, but if I remember right, I think that's the case. So you want to use your blocks and bridge over to this chip, and watch out for the gliders once you collect it, because they're going to come straight at you. And that's pretty much it. Playtime's over, folks. Well, not quite, because now we can have some playtime in the Steam place sauna thing. So let's go over here. And essentially all this is, as you can see, is that you're just trading boots for others when you go through these spies. So I think this is the route, if I remember correctly. There's a certain route you have to take through this level. And essentially what you want to do is you want to get both the flippers and the fire boots, which you can do here. There we go. So this will allow you to go all the way to the very end, as you can see there. And I believe that's the bold time, actually. Well, the next level, this is the level I was telling you about in the Eeny Miny Mo video, where there's like 4 different challenges that are all disconnected. And in case you were wondering what that pitter patter was there, that was my dog. Anyway, you want to get a red key here, and you want to go through the teleports in the right order, and you can kind of experiment with this until you find it, but you can only get to this one, of course, if you have the blue key. And here you can go to the yellow door. So you got that out of the way. As you can see up there, we got a puzzle involving pop-up walls later on. Let me show you something here first before we really start attacking this puzzle. Over here we have a lot of bombs, and we have some blocks, and we want to get those blocks over to this area with the bombs, one at a time, and you'll see why. What? Oh, come on. Oh, wow. Okay, that was just bad. Alright, everybody. Be back in a sec. Alright, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I didn't want to first part on video again, so I'm just skipping to this part in the video, that is. And right now, we're going to go ahead and start taking care of our blocks. As you can see, there are 4 of them, and we have to slide them on this ice to get to them. Like that. So you just want to be mindful of what you're doing when you're sliding those blocks and get out of the way fast enough so you can get down to push it. Push it. Push it. That's a cool phrase. Push it. Okay, I'm weird. Alright. Here you go. Follow this ball. And what you want to do is you want to follow it like directly behind, because when you clone 2 of them, yeah, they cancel each other out. I don't understand how that works, but for some reason, they cancel each other out. And then it just goes back to 1, and so you don't really have anything to worry about. I think in links, this may not be the case, so in fact, I don't think it is the case. So in links, this is actually more of a challenge. That's one thing that we're trying to avoid doing for CCLP3, is having these really weird difficulty differences between Microsoft and links. There's one level that's coming up that's very notorious for this because of slide delay. And this is not really a bad example. This is probably a really horrible example of a difficulty difference, because it's not really much of one. And this is the type of thing we probably would leave in CCLP3, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with some variations. In fact, we're gonna have some variations that are pretty fun, but there are some that are just really annoying, or like busts and stuff, where it's just really sloppy if you just keep it in, you know. Anyhow, up here we got a little cloning area where we have to direct gliders around to some bombs so we can get some chips. Not too difficult, really. It's very easy. So just go over here. Just keep in mind which toggle walls are open and which are closed. In fact, yeah, they're all open and they're all closed at the same time, so that actually helps you. Okay, so we've taken care of the chips at the bottom, so let's go up here and direct a couple gliders off of that toggle wall. Alright, and there. Alright, I think we're good. We got all the chips. I think we got that one at the top. So let's go into the recessed wall maze, or the pop-up wall maze. Some people call them recessed, some people call them pop-up. Get all the chips over here. Alright, we're doing good. We're doing good. Haven't been trapped. Alright, we're doing okay. And this area, these little arrangements of blocks, these are called wedges. When you have to push 2 in like that and 1 like that. the wiki calls those a wedge, which they come up in other levels later on, so we'll be sure to see those. And here we just got simple item swapping. Yay, item swapping. So just walk over here, get this. You can get a pair of flippers. Watch out for the bug, of course. Thankfully, you don't have to snatch them away from him like Chips. I keep using Chips as the example because that's the one where you have to do that. Probably the most famous one. Alright, time for a rather easy level here. This level is called Invincible Champion, and what it looks like you have to do is you have to go up and clone some gliders to fly into the bugs. I think that was what you were supposed to do originally, but because there was one bug that was placed the wrong way, it totally messed up the bug flow. So you can just easily go right in here and get all these chips without any problem. Yeah, this is really simple. You don't even have to use the glider clone machine. This is really simple. You can just go right around. Now, there is a level that's about to come up, probably in the next video you'll see it, that has a similar layout with the bugs, but you actually do have to do something to them. So we'll be sure to see that later on. Anyhow, this next level is called Force Square. And once again, this is yet another pun I did not understand. I didn't realize that this was a play on words with Foursquare, which is the title of another level actually later on, but it's called Force Square, Anyway, I'm just being really random today. I'm trying to get all these chips in one trip because it is possible to kind of trap yourself in an area and you have to come back to this area later on. I don't mean trap yourself in the sense that you're making the level unsolvable, just that you'd have to come back to a certain spot later on. So exit here, or you could exit here. Either one of those spots works, and you can go in here. Now, if you want to go back to the force floor thing, go down toward this one, because the next teleport in reverse reading order is the one at the very beginning. So just go up here, and you'll be teleported instantly back down here. And go over here, get your red key, if you got all the chips. And there. Alright, we can now just go straight to the exit, which is down here. So yay for more stuff between the chip socket and the exit. Alright. And the next level, Drawn and Quartered. And don't worry, it's not as bad as it sounds. All this level mainly consists of is just 4 quadrants with chips arranged like this on the edges. And in later rooms there are going to be fireballs. And there's something that you really want to watch out for in this level. What you want to watch out for is monsters getting stuck in the teleports. So I heavily recommend clearing out all this dirt around the teleport like this, just to avoid that, because that can be rather bad. Alright, so we let some fireballs go in that teleport. And we're going to take care of this room. I gotta admit, this level probably could have been a little bit more interesting had they had some more fireball dodging involved, because there is some in one of the rooms here toward the end where they actually go around the entire room. Yeah, like this. So this is where things get kind of interesting. But yeah, this level is kind of placed a little bit late, I think. This level is fairly easy. All you have to do is just be mindful of what you're doing with the fireballs, and I think Lemmings was actually kind of harder than this one. Okay, clear out all the dirt there. Forgot to do that earlier. And just go down here, and there is one set of chips we missed right below us there. If you look over here, the exit's right there, so we're going to come back here in a sec, but for now, let's hope I don't die. Okay, good. And let's go down. Okay, good. We're okay. Okay. So we can just keep all those fireballs at bay in their little area for now, and we can just go over here. So maybe the challenging thing about this level is actually the time limit, because it is kind of a tight squeeze if you're not very fast. But it isn't too mean or anything, so that's kind of encouraging. Are they gonna go? Yeah, they're gonna go there. Okay. And we're gonna go here. Alright, good. Awesome. And we are victorious over Drawn and Quartered. Alright everybody, I'm going to stop the video right here, but in the next episode, we're going to be tackling 2 rather difficult levels. Actually, well, you might say 3 rather difficult levels, if we can get past level 81 in time. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right here, and does anyone ever say without further ado at the very end of something? I don't know, but anyhow, I'm just going to go ahead and stop the video here for now, everybody. So for now, this is JB saying goodbye, and thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.